Very good morning to you, Mr. Anil Agarwal. It's been a personal privilege and a pleasure for me to welcome you to this AIMA session. I express my gratitude on behalf of AIMA that you've kindly agreed to do this. For me, it's a personal joy. I have very, very vivid memories of meeting you when I sold my iron ore business to you. And what I really observed is, that you are such a kind-hearted person. And that shows, how you've been able to commit more than half of your wealth to the people of India. I mean, I must salute you on that. And we'll talk more about it when we actually go through the question answer session. I also welcome all the people here, ladies and gentlemen, who've come very keenly to hear you out. You are a dream come true for many Indians. I mean, if I see your success, it is a man who is a classic dreams to reality story. You are a first generation entrepreneur. You inspire millions of Indians to think really big. And that's something that we've discussed in this conference before, that how do you actually take such a big risk and achieve what you had to achieve. You left Patna as a teenager for Mumbai and ended up being one of its most important citizens. You began your career in business by dealing in metal scraps, but you kept moving upstream, and now you are called the mining Maharaja of India. Not only India, but now globally. You have also been an astute buyer of mining and metal companies sold by the governments, including mine, and you turn them into real profit-making entities. Now, you are pursuing a dream of becoming the energy king of India by acquiring one of its major fuel retailing companies. I call you unstoppable, Mr. Anil Agarwal. You have also expressed an intent to set up a massive electronic chip manufacturing production facility in India. And I just read a news article a few days back that you've also acquired a small unit in Goa to start with. While the world knows you for your sharpness as a business person, you have gained immense goodwill by announcing that you and your family will store bulk of your wealth in organizations to support nutrition, education, and income for millions of Indians. You are also passionate about animal welfare, and you are generously contributing to this cause. You contributed huge sums of money recently when we all went through a crisis, the COVID crisis in the country, through various states, including Goa, and supplied critical equipment and also oxygen in many parts of the country. This was a very timely and important gesture from you and your company. You have, in addition, shown your commitment to business responsibility by leading Vedanta's efforts to become an ESG leader in the mining, metals, and energy sector. A colossal of Indian business, you are a leader among the builders of New India. Many thanks for agreeing to do this session and sharing your plans and thoughts on India's transformation through industry and philanthropy. I am really excited and looking forward to my chat with you today. But before I open the floor to questions, and I also have a few questions myself, I would be very grateful if you can have a few opening comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shrinivas. Very good friend of mine, amazing personality, and I'm very humble that and appreciate that you people has invited me. I'm one of you, probably lower than you, all of you, the way you people are there, and it's a pleasure to be part of you. AIMA is the one which is the people who is entrepreneur, people who want to do something, and I read about it, and I wish all the best to AIMA. For me, there was, it's very important that I always look at India. India is, I really don't know why my country is poor. Why we are not able to provide job. I'm a geologist, not by profession, but as a practical, I've worked with the geology from last 30 years, and I can see, I can smell the ground. When I went to Goa, they said there is nothing in the ground, and I could show them that there is so much in the ground which can last for 50 years. So we have human resource, we have a natural resource, we have a technology resource, we have a spirituality, we have a 10,000 years history. Why my country is not developed country? So I always think that the entire world today lead by the Indian leaders, whether it's the business people, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a bank, whether it's a politician, whether you go to number 10, whether you go to White House, anywhere you go, it is the Indian brain which is working. Entire in the world is working with the back office. And the entire 70% of the back office, they prefer to be in India, whether it's a Bangalore or in Pune. So it is a power of India. And there cannot be better time. There was a time where there used to be little monopoly of the certain people, certain club, but this is the time where whatever they want, they can do it. India is a place of entrepreneur. India is the place exactly like US, and I have no doubt that the way the country is going forward, we have to sort out our border. Whatever happens, we have to sort out our border issue. So this everyday hiskich has to get out, and we keep remaining focused on to make sure that we have enough wealth to provide everybody roof. We have enough wealth to provide water. We have enough wealth to provide everybody education, health, and the women of India are tremendous. Whatever I have seen all over the world, we have a special DNA about the women, what they can do, the tolerance what they have. You know, it is, if you see in the world, the divorce rate is going high. It is almost now 60%. In India, it's still less than 3%. It is amazing how we keep our family together, the tradition together. So it has the huge potential to grow, and this is our time. This is our time in geopolitical situation today. We have been branded as a most peaceful country, and this is the greatest advantage we have. You know, we unnecessarily don't get into the quarrel. So this is from my side. As far as the Vedanta is concerned, whatever I do, I make sure. Initially, it was a necessity that I must make money. Today, anything I will do, unless it is help to my society, we will never do it. I always make sure if I am setting up something, there should be hundreds of other factories to come around us. There should be more beneficiary than what I am doing, and that is the biggest satisfaction I have. We have almost 100,000 people in India, and we have no union by and large. And first company which I acquired, which has 100 people, has 3 unions, including Datta Saman. And that taught me the human psychology. And definitely we believe in Almighty, and that blessing is always there. We always have the blessing of our parents, which is we don't find in the Western world. And that helps us a lot. And this government, which is a more transparent, you know, what I see, and if more and more, whoever come in the power for 5 years, let them do work. Because 70%, 60% of time, they are managing, which is unproductive thing. You have to give them a benefit of doubt. Let them deliver, let them give free hand, so they can deliver, they can do what they want to do. That's what I feel, that's what happened in some of the Western world. So this is from my side. Very nice of you to, once again, thank you very much for inviting for this occasion.
Thank you, Anilji. I just want to start with, you have been, as I said earlier, you have been an inspiration to millions of people like us. If you could take us through a little bit about your journey, what has made you the man you are today? If you could take us a little bit through your childhood, what you felt, how you entered Mumbai, and of course, the rest is all history, what you've made out to be. So it'll be very useful for audience in this hall to understand what made you tick.
I think in India we have millions of people have a similar story. Some people have been able to say about their story. I'm one of them. I have a very humble background. Though my 100 years back or 150 years back, my forefather was from Rajasthan, but we brought up in Bihar, and I always call myself a Bihari, and I never hesitate saying this, that I'm a Bihari. And I had my mother, I would say, she used to get 400 rupees, and with the 4 children, and the way my mother loved me, I think no other mother can love. The way she fed us, we used to go to municipal school till the age of 14. I never wear shoes. I always in the Hawaii chapel, and always walk through 6-7 kilometers to the school. And it was not painful. It was a part of life. We had for my father, he come for a different background. Education was not important. Somehow that you pass the school, you go to the school, you have done the school. If you have not passed in the school, you get beating here and there, and then you run away. 2 days, if you don't come to home, nobody cares. Third day, the people start looking at you where he is. So because we all live in the joint family, so till the age of 19, I never. Probably few times I sit in the train, but first time till the 20 or 21, I never sit in the plane. So there was an opportunity for me. Somebody came to our house. I went to Bombay, and when I went to Bombay, I have seen that Bombay only in the movie. And the double-decker bus, I always written on my double-decker bus, Kali Pili taxi, the beautiful people, and everybody is mixing around. And it was, I said, this is the place I'm going to stay. My biggest drawback was I could only speak yes or no in English. And it was very important to know the English, but I was fighting through. I stay in the Kalva Devi, as I've written in my Twitter also. I stayed in Kalva Devi in 21 rupees. That was also very expensive. 21 rupees bed, 7th bed. And my father was in a steel grill gate business. So I knew some business. I was working with him. So I had some idea. So collecting the scrap, selling the scrap, and it was a phenomenal journey. Going into the local train, going to the Kalyan, Vithalwadi, all these places, the train journey, eating in the night, the whole night. I never thought the whole night the food court is open. So I used to have a pav bhaji in the night, seeing the movie. I remember seeing the Sholay picture. I wanted to see the star. First person I saw was the Feroz Khan. So this was a very enjoyable. It was such an enjoyable journey. People say it's stressful. No, it was enjoyable. And then always dream because I used to read in the newspaper that R.P. Gonka has bought this company, he has bought this company, he has bought this company. I said, why can't I buy these companies? What is the difference between them and me? And that was always the ambition. And I read somewhere that the if you have a determination, you can do what you want. You must dream big. So always dream big. So bought a company in Bombay. Had a 10 years very bad time. Every business I do will fail. Did the public issue, raised some money. First was 4 crore, and then set up the copper smelter was very, very difficult. Started going abroad. Got every business will fail, but pass. But I'll cut short. Then my coming to London, I thought I'm going to write. Was one night I decided people are not recognizing me. No matter what I'm doing, nobody recognizes me. I have to go somewhere, and I used to watch every day CNN, business news. I don't understand anything, but I used to watch every day religiously because this is CNN business news. I must watch, and I realized London is there, and you will not believe. Overnight, I left with my 2 children. My wife was so disturbed to come to London and stay in the hotel. And I said, I'm going to have my company to be listed here. And I didn't know anybody. Trust me, I started making hundreds of calls, meeting people. And my wife was a very good cook. So calling people and feeding them. I said, let's catch them people from their stomach. So feeding them, and they'll come back and some idea will come. But after 2 or 3 years, you will not believe I raised 17,000 crore rupees. It's unbelievable. And then made never stop. And I always had a huge opportunity to invest outside India. But I said, no, I'm going to go back and invest in my country. I love my country. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. मेरे को इतना प्यार है हिंदुस्तान से, लेकिन मेरे को यहाँ आके रहना पड़ रहा है बिकॉज जो टेक्नोलॉजी यहीं पर है, the expertise are here, money is here. If you raise 1,000 crore there, it come into the people's eyes. At that time, if you raise 10,000 crore here, nobody, it does not matter. So that's what helped me. I was the only Indian in my board at that time. But I requested Mr. Chidambaram to come on the board. At that time, it was very difficult, but I could convince. As Sir Brian, it has happened. One of the reasons was I was very, very persuasive. If I decide something, I will do it. So I had Sir Brian Gilbertson, who was the BHP chairman. I somehow just convinced him to join my board. Sir David Gould, all English people. I took everybody to have a facade, and that's what happened. But trust me, not a single penny. I never had apart from my salary account, I never had any account anywhere. And I never draw anything beyond my salary. Though the salary was good. The house the company provide, the car company provide, the office company provide, and that helped me a lot. So I can go on saying, but I just thought you're asking me to say.
Thank you. This is truly inspirational, One is to dream big, but to pursue and to achieve it, it takes a lot of guts and courage, and that we see in you. Just moving on from there, when I had come to your office, Anilji, you had told me that you had started with metal scrap business in Mumbai, if I remember correctly. I mean, from metal scrap, you went into commodities, and now you are a leader in commodities. Were there any first lessons that you learned in your metal scrap business that helped you to build your business in mining and commodities?
Yeah, it was a chain. It was a chain that aluminum and copper you collect from the cable company, scrap. And then you say, I must have a cable company. Then you have a cable company, you realize the major raw material is the aluminum and copper. And then you say you must have some rod mill. and then you have a rod mill, then you say, I must produce aluminum and copper in India. One thing I can tell you, world does not want India to grow. World does not want India to remain as a market. We all of us has to be together. All of us has to be together to fight this battle. Where we have everything, 70% of our wealth goes in import. We have to, and we have everything. So that's what happens. I keep on looking, everything which I did. Once I start saying mining, everybody say, including my daughter, saying that you are doing wrong thing. Mining is not a good business. And I says, if you don't have copper, if you don't have aluminum, if you don't have oil and gas, how we will survive? We can't survive on so that perception. The perception which has, the world is doing everything. They don't want us to do it. They want us to import coal. They don't want us to produce. You know, the Goa mining, which is the largest mining, $7 billion every year we have given to the government. They have stopped only because the foreign involvement, and they wanted to stop mining at Goa. That we want to make is a beautiful beach. I said, you come with me to Brazil. Brazil is the largest producer of iron ore, and they have one of the best beach. This perception has to change to eradicate our poverty. So this was the change. This was one after other, but nothing was easy. But I was enjoying. I was enjoying every beauty.
Thank you. As one of the persons who has achieved everything in life, you know, you are a big player in commodities. You have now gone into energy in a big way. Your next big foray you've announced is semiconductor chips. You know, these are some of the big areas that you've announced. As a big leader, what is your next big dream? You know, it's very difficult, you know, when you dream so high, you know, you keep on dreaming, but what's your next biggest dream that you want to achieve?
Today, unless India produced oil and gas, we cannot, 50% energy security has to be in India. We will always remain vulnerable. And we have so much of deposit of oil and gas. And please trust our local entrepreneur. Instead of getting the direct foreigners, that also welcome. Our entrepreneur, if you give them a support, they will produce oil and gas to the country. We have so much of gold, 100% gold we import. We have Hatti gold mine, we have a Bharat gold mine. They want to close it. They wanted to close Hindustan Zinc. They wanted to close Balco. But once somebody entrepreneur among us comes in, he look at very differently, because for him it has become a necessity. He has to find a way. So this is as I'm looking at going forward, what is important for the country. Most of my business is a literally monopoly. Nobody produces oil and gas. We produce 30% of the India oil and gas. And how much difficulty I have, you have no idea. I can see that these total foreign influence, I'm within this four wall. Middle East does not want us to produce oil. They don't want us to produce gas. You know what price we can produce oil and gas? At $7. Including government levy, we can all produce everything $26. The Barmer area, we can make it a Houston. But you have to start, this government started trusting people. Hundreds of people has to come. Same thing with the gold, same thing with the copper. 100% copper we import. We have the largest deposit of copper in our country. The largest employment can be generated into the copper. So this goes on, all the thing what we do. Aluminium, we are one of the best people to produce aluminium. We thought that today what is happening, electronic. One after other, Korea, Chinese, they are shutting down our electronic industry. If you go to Delhi, if you go to Bombay, we are experts in developing these parts. But because of different kind of duty, different kind of influence, we have completely shut down our electronic industry. Everything we are importing. We don't produce, we acquire, I went to government, requested them, can I acquire one of the Japanese company? So we acquired 4 years back Japanese company which produced glass for the laptop, for cell phone, for the TV. And we are bringing that fab to India. It's a horrendous job, but $17 billion of glass we are importing. So I'm looking forward, anything I will do, I'm making sure hundreds and thousands of industry can come up around that area. We have just produced the fundamental. Same thing with the semiconductor. If we don't produce semiconductor, we have everything in our country. And we tie up with the Foxconn. It's a very big job. Very, very big job. Today, I'm very confident that we will have in 2 years, semiconductor will come. The semiconductor comes. You see how many industry can come up. Whether it's automobile, whether electronic, whether anything you talk about, the semiconductor is very important. So I'm going to not diversifying anywhere, but fundamentals are very, very important. Those days has gone where I have to remain on survival. When I was survival, I was not looking anything else except how do I make sure my cash flow work. But today I'm only looking at the bigger picture. And in this lifetime, if I can do something for my country, is most important for me.
So just moving on from oil and gas, recently India has committed to net zero emission by 2070. And, by 2030, we say that most of our power is going to move on renewable sources of energy. They're going to move on from coal. What are your views on all this? Because one way we see the increasing use of coal in most of industrialization, though China is said, but China is still using a lot of coal. India is still using a lot of coal. How are you planning in your businesses? I know that, you've committed to a lot of variables in ESG. Your companies are already forward-looking on the ESG front. Just wanted your views on how India is going to cope up with its energy security needs.
If you look at the environment, I'll go in the two parts. One part is fundamental. Fundamental is that we are 8% environmental level than the America. We are not comparable because they have taken out all their coal. They have put all the air in, all the sulfur dioxide in the air. We have not industrialized ourselves. We are just 8%. But even if you look at Bhagavad Gita, in 17th chapter, it is written very clearly. 5,000 years back, where it is written, we have to be conscious about our environment. Lord Krishna has said that anywhere you go, 100 people go sit together, we have to clean the place. That is in our inherent with our Indian as an Indian. Now you're coming to the ESG. Can you believe the entire India has only one company produce coal? Coal India. Very unfortunate. We should have 10 companies. We should have 10 companies to produce coal. In India, we have a sulfur-free coal or low sulfur coal. We have a low sulfur oil. We have a low sulfur of gas, which is a nature which has given us. As far as the ESG is concerned, I think the renewable power, our Prime Minister, the way he has taken, world couldn't believe it. The kind of number he said that renewable power we will make I think we will make a revolution. We'll be ahead of the world as far as renewable power is concerned. My vision, one day, it will happen like a telecom. Like telecom, there is no input cost. You just collect the your service charge. Time, because we have the sunlight, one of the best in the world. We have a technology. It will take time. But I'm looking forward as a dreamer that one day it will happen whereby there will be no input cost of coal, there will be no input cost of anything, but barely with you have a capital cost by which you produce power, and you have wireless services. Lot of discom is a big problem today. We have to sort out the discom. I have a feeling time to come, keeping the environment in mind, will be the lowest cost of power in the world. But we are very conscious of ESG. People talk about ESG today. We definitely take care of our environment, and people become very, very conscious. Everybody is declaring. I can tell you, with the geopolitical situation, big problems are coming, and ESG become much relevant than what is happening, the war, the world war, and what is happening. But we are fully committed in India, and I think people are very conscious about the environment. Safety is very important. There is no zero fatality possible. Today technology has come. We have a huge startup. The startup will change our country. Please support a startup. I have 1,000 startups which we fund them all the time. SPAC, startup, please, with the power of ignorance, little bit power of ignorance, support them. They will be future of India. So safety, they are coming out with a lot of sensors whereby the accident will be zero. As a stand for the society, community, for us, society, for all of us are very important. Community is very important. Wherever we work, I think most of us take care of the society, our people. So I think India is definitely conscious. We have, Vedanta has declared 2030, we'll have a zero emission, zero carbon, and that consciousness has come. If you see, people are not taking 10 cars, people are taking 1 car or 2 cars. If you see in the machine, people used to take 10 trolleys, now they're taking 2 trolleys. So everybody become conscious. So this consciousness is coming, and I have no doubt it's a question of what government is also supporting. We'll be ahead of ESG.
Thank you. The next question, Anilji, you talked about geopolitics, and all of us are facing a certain amount of uncertainty in not only our personal lives, but also our businesses. We are looking at forming groups within countries, so that's why I said that how should India place itself? What are your views on whether India could take this opportunity and be a more powerful force in the world?
I didn't do a full question, but I can understand about the geopolitics. India is in a very sweet spot. Please take advantage of it. पुराने जमाने में हम लोग कहावतें बोलते थे, ना काही से बैर, ना काही से दोस्ती. So we are in that position. Na kahi se bair, na kahi se dosti. So our Prime Minister, the way he is playing, he is a tall leader. Nobody can match him in today. People know that he is there. And the way the Russia, the American, all over the world, people are looking alternative source of supply. And for them, India is the first choice. They are definitely looking Southeast Asia, whether it's Thailand or all these countries, Southeast Asia, they are looking. But the large country like India, where you have a human resource, you have a intelligence resource. India is a great source. Every American large company want to have another source of supply. You know, can you believe Vedanta, we don't make textile? Invariably, I get the inquiry, can you make curtain for us? Can you make carpet for us? Because they want alternative source of supply from China. Very, very clear. So we are in very, very sweet spot. Everybody is criticizing why NATO, India is not supporting. I says, either we are not supporting, we are neutral. We always say, Prime Minister has always says 20 times that please sit down together and talk. We are a peaceful nation. We can't have one view because we are so strong, embedded relationship with the Russia. All our arms, all our tank, all our aircraft has come from there. We have oil and gas supply. We have a relationship. So we cannot break it overnight. We have to find a solution. We are not rich country like you. We work on the budget. So I think geopolitical situation, India is number one position today. Number one position today. One side you say Africa, one side you take Europe, one side say you take America, one side you take Central America, one side you say Southeast Asia. Among all, we are neutral position, we are better position. I request each of us, this is the time, please move forward, develop the manufacturing, join the company, which is a manufacturing company, alternative supply from the China.
There's a question from the audience, and Sogo from...
just increase the volume, just increase the volume.
Sogo from Batinda Management Association asks you, can you dream of India, which is not poor, where all kids go to school, hospitals, have beds for all, and no one sleeps hungry? How many years will this dream take?
5 years.
Great.
5 years. Please don't, I have always said, because my worry is, riches are getting richer, poor are getting poor. You don't have to kill rich to become poor to be rich.
Yeah.
We have to have a policy middle path.
So we just have a couple of minutes more, and I'm going to ask a connected question to you. Mr. Agarwal, if you see in every reply of yours, your love for Bharat has been outstanding. You know, every time it has been standing, first the country and then Vedanta and you. Okay, I wanted to ask you, where do you see India 10 years from now? You know, you answered it partly saying that poverty is going to get eliminated from 5 years, but economically, militarily, socially, peaceful population, where do you want India to be 5 years from now? And are we close to realizing a $5 trillion economy dream?
It is there. $5 trillion economy is there once government has no business to be in a business. And I don't want government to privatize and give it to Anil Agarwal. Make it as a corporation. Make it as a corporation. 80% of the company of the world run by, today we have SDFC runs, L&T runs, you have a UTI runs, but no government interference. Government should put the regulator. Indian mind is so beautiful. The CEO, the board should be independent. They will make each of this company. We have a 52 defense factory. Each factory, if you ever go to Jabalpur or Bhusawal, it is like a nagar hai. It's running on 10% capacity. will be the largest producer of arms and ammunition. Make it independent. Government should get out of the business. Below the ground, we have so much of wealth. Self-certification is very important. More and more you trust the entrepreneur, they will create phenomenal employment. World is looking for the money to be put in. We have one of the best SEBI, Reserve Bank, everything. So I have no doubt. Today, if you see even the minister level, there is a governance. We are on the right track. I have no doubt. Once government is out of business, they only collect the money. They only collect the revenue to create more and more infrastructure, more and more health, education, everything. Women in power is very, very important. And I have no doubt this will happen. Industry, industry, industry.
Thank you. We've almost...
Yeah, two more things.
Sure.
Two more things. One is the tourism. Whole world want to come to India. Government has to be out of the tourism. Government has to be completely out of tourism. You will see 10 times more people will be coming here all the time. 10,000 years history. So these are from my side. I can keep on talking. When I talk about India, I'm looking forward to come back to India, to be there. But I need to be here to make sure I create wealth, I create equity, I create technology, I can get Foxconn and do that.
Thank you.